This endangered lion was given a deep and thorough clean of his ears after suffering with chronic earache. Specialists from across the UK came to London Zoo as a part of a long-term health plan, as the team got to work with cleaning out his ears. The 13-year-old Asiatic lion Bhanu, weighing in at 174 kilograms, had developed a rather nasty ear infection which eardrops couldn't solve. Scan revealed that the issue was due to Bhanu having an unusually narrow ear canal. A long-term medical plan was then put into action, with the lion being prescribed inflammatory and anti-fungal medication, as well as an annual health check and ear cleaning. Experts came together to carry out the procedure. London Zoo Veterinarian Stefan said, "Bhanu's comfort and well-being are our top priorities, and they inform every decision we make. We filled his cosy indoor den with soft straw in preparation for the procedure, and thanks to the expert training from London Zoo's keepers and veterinary nurses, Bhanu chose to calmly present his legs so we could administer the general anaesthetic. It took no time at all before Bhanu drifted off under his cooling blanket, designed to regulate his temperature, and we could get to work cleaning his ear." The team had a crystal clear view of inside Bhanu's ear after a pipe cleaner-sized camera was fed down his ear canal, which enabled them to do a thorough clean of the ear while also targeting the correct areas with medication. Stefan continued, "This yearly checkup helps us to provide the very best care for Bhanu's ears, but also means we can monitor his overall health at the same time, checking his eyes, teeth and heart, all in top-tip condition too. This is vital for Bhanu, but also for his species. Bhanu is an important member of the European-wide breeding programme for endangered Asiatic lions, designed to protect a healthy and genetically diverse population in conservation zoos across Europe." Shortly after waking up from the anaesthetic, Bhanu reclaimed his crown as the king of the zoo, prowling his land of the lion's enclosure, accompanied by the lioness Aria.
On that side, all cars manual, and it'll be closed behind you, and there's another exit just to the
So with Bhanu, just like you might have in your pet dog or your pet cat, he's had an ear infection in the past. That was quite a deep ear infection, and so about a year ago we investigated that using a CT scan to evaluate what is going on deep inside his ear that you can't see. He's got that big mane, a little ear, and it's difficult to see deep in there, so the CT scan helped solve that problem for us. In that CT scan we found he had quite a closed up ear canal from all the inflammation in the skin there, and had a fair bit of debris that had built up in there. So we performed the GA today to follow up on that, as he's had a little bit of a flare up of those symptoms.
I mean, this is twisted around, so I might be a little while.
Okay, yeah.
Are you ready for feeding?
So in the general anaesthetic today, we used a specialised little camera to look into his ear and try and look as far into his ear as we can. And we found that his ear, while it was a little bit flared up, it wasn't quite as bad as it was a year ago, so there's actually been some significant improvement over that time. We found that it was still a little bit closed up, but not as much as it was previously. There was a fair amount of wax in the ear, if you will. You can imagine, you might have seen the wax that comes out of a domestic cat or domestic dog's ear. This is a lion, much bigger, so you can imagine the scale that we're talking about here. There's even a slightly increased amount. A lion ends up being a lot that we have to flush out and clean out of that ear to make sure it's as comfortable as we can get it for him, and he's well on his way to recovery. So while we had him under anaesthesia there, after we'd given his ear a really, really good clean out and had a really good assessment of that ear, we put in some long-acting ear drops in there that contain some pain relief and some anti-inflammatory, as well as some antimicrobial ingredients to help combat what is going on right in that ear. So while we had him under general anaesthetic, as we do with nearly every time we put an animal under general anaesthetic, we take that opportunity to get a full health assessment of the animal, and was no different with Bhanu. So we got some blood from him, we had a look at his eyes, a look at his teeth, we had a look at his other ear, even though that wasn't showing any signs, to make sure that was completely normal, and we had a good feel of him as well to see if there was anything else we could find. And so thankfully in this case there was nothing else we were really worried about, and it's just his ear, which we're well and truly getting on top of. So while the GA we did today on Bhanu was really important for Bhanu and his own health, the information that we've gathered there is also really important for the conservation of Asiatic lions, which are an endangered species, and he contributes greatly to the conservation of his species. So as with all of our animals here at the zoo, we keep a really close eye on their health, and so we will follow up this procedure with others down the line, lots of them with Bhanu taking part under trained behaviour from the skillful training of our keepers and veterinary nurses to keep an eye on both his ear and his general health going forward into the future.